So class 7th, this is the second part of respiration. Okay, in this part we will discuss about respiratory system in human being. Okay, and it consists of organs which is responsible for taking oxygen and taking out of carbon dioxide. Okay, so the nostril, the passage in the nose, and trachea, which is windpipe, and bronchi and lungs are the main organ of the respiratory system. Okay, or in this section we will discuss about obviously nostril, trachea, bronchi, and lungs. Okay, let us start. Breathing in, the taking in of air rich in oxygen into our body is called inhalation, and taking out of air, okay, in the form of CO2 into surrounding, they are said to be exhalation. Okay, so breathing in and breathing out, it is a process obviously, and whatever the nostril we have. Okay, so first of all you need to understand whatever the air we breathe in a passage, okay, through the nostril, it is the moist tended by the slimy mucus present in the nose, and mucus is secreted in the inner lining of the nose, and the air become warm by the blood circulation in the nose, and mucus in the hair present inside the nose trap dust particles. Okay, so whatever the hair present in the nostril, okay, they trap dust particles. Okay, and whatever the disease causing germs come from taking in of during taking in of oxygen, they are preventing them, okay, from entering the respiratory system. Okay, we do not get clean air if we breathe without our mouth instead of our nose. That's why it is recommended that do not breathe by mouth. Okay, always breathe by nose, because obviously there is no hair, okay, in mouth, by which whatever the dust particle and germs, they are easily enter through the mouth. Okay, and we need to obviously conscious about it. Okay, so we should always breathe through the nose. It will protect us from catching an infection. Okay, and let us talk about to the lungs. And from the nose or nasal cavity, the air passes through the pharynx or throat, okay, cavity to the windpipe, which is also known as trachea. Okay, and the windpipe branches into two smaller tubes called bronchi, and each bronchus enter into the lungs. Okay, and whatever the bronchi that receive air, okay, and expand it, it is like a balloon, or we can say that alveoli. Okay, it is a figure of alveoli who receive air and expand it. Okay, and what will happen, let's see, at the end of the this tube are the tiny air sac called alveoli. Okay, and each lungs contain about 3 million alveoli. Okay, and the air we breathe in actually uh, that eventually reaches these air sacs, and these sacs are surrounded by blood vessels. Okay, and that goes into the blood containing the blood vessels. Okay, so it just receive the air, and then after whatever the oxygen they receive, they transfer into blood. Okay, and the carbon dioxide present in the blood, okay, passes out of the blood into the air sac through the exchange of gas take place into the lungs. When we take in air, whatever the oxygen it will send to the blood, and whatever the carbon dioxide in blood they taken out, okay, through exhalation. Okay, so the giving out of air rich in carbon dioxide is known as exhalation. How air enter in the lungs? This is obviously very good question. Let's see. To understand what causes air to go in and out of the lungs, let's perform a simple activity. You need to perform activity of a balloon get inflated and get defected. Okay. So let's come in page number 122 and see how air goes in and goes out into lungs. So when you see breathing in and breathing out, there is a diaphragm into it, okay, and when you breathe in air, the diaphragm goes down, increasing the space in the chest cavity. So obviously there is an increase in chest size also when you take in oxygen, okay, and when you take out the oxygen, they decreases, okay. So the air from the atmosphere enter the lungs and they expand, and when you breathe out, the diaphragm move up and decreasing the space in the cavity, and this forces the air out of the lungs, okay. Now, when a person need extra energy, for example, when he or she is running, the breathing becomes faster, supply more oxygen to the cell. This speed up to the breakdown of food, thus releasing more energy. Okay, and obviously, sometimes people's working, uh, while working, they need extra energy, they need extra oxygen. So obviously, the rate of breathing become faster. Okay. Let us see what is cellular respiration. The blood taking the oxygen to all the cells of the blood, and blood has a substance called hemoglobin, okay, and which binds itself with the oxygen called oxyhemoglobin, okay. So whatever the red pigment present in blood, by which blood look like red, and that pigment is said to be hemoglobin, and oxygenated blood is said to be oxygen, okay. So oxyhemoglobin, it is in the form of that the oxygen is carried out into the blood, and the cellular respiration occur in the cell. During the cellular respiration, okay, the sugar molecules in the food, which is we say that the glucose, okay, that is sugar molecule in the food, that oxidized into the form of carbon dioxide and water, and the energy is given out, and such a process is said to be respiration, okay. That is said to be cellular respiration. You can see the equation also, that the C6H12O6 and plus C6O2 that converted into 6 mole of carbon dioxide and the water, and also in energy, that gives us energy, okay. Let's see, there are the two types of respiration. First type is obviously aerobic respiration, second one is anaerobic respiration. Obviously you need to understand that the whatever the glucose that I am telling you lots of time, that the C6H12O6, okay, which is the combination of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, which is we can say that it is a sugar molecule in food, okay, that break down in the presence of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and then after also in energy, and that energy useful to perform the activities by organism, isn't it or not? So let's see, on the basis of absence or presence of oxygen, isn't it, there are the two types of respiration, okay. So if there is a breakdown of glucose in the presence of oxygen, they are said to be aerobic respiration, and if the breakdown of glucose in the absence of oxygen, then they are said to be anaerobic respiration, okay. So when our body needs extra energy, when our body needs extra oxygen, okay, to perform activities, obviously our body respire, okay, anaerobically to generate energy, because there is the absence of oxygen over there, okay. To generate extra energy, the lactic acid form, and sometimes you feel that if you play badminton or cricket after a long time, you see how the lactic acid form in your muscle, and after one day you feel some irritation in your blood due to acid, okay. So that on that time, to generate high to generate more and more energy, your body respire, okay, in the absence of oxygen, that is anaerobic respiration, okay. So sometime during these activities, for a long distance running, your body cannot get enough oxygen to produce the required energy. To get the additional energy, anaerobic respire occurring within your muscle cell, and this process there is a partial breakdown of glucose and produce a lactic acid, okay. And that lactic acid obviously make you irritation, okay, that is said to be also causes a muscular cramp, and that is why the sometimes the cramp after the heavy exercise, you can get the relief from these cramp by the massaging or the affecting part of the giving hot bath, okay. So by the both activities, whatever the activities is given, by which you understand how the complete breakdown of lactic acid into carbon dioxide and water, and hence you get relief from the cramp. So whatever the lactic acid form after anaerobic respiration, okay, whatever the treatment you give, and then after it will convert into carbon dioxide and water, then you relief. Okay, so this is all about chapter. In this chapter we will see how respiration in animal take place. Okay, and obviously first of all we talk about that the respiration in animal can take place through cell membrane or skin, in which we talk about amoeba and earthworm. Okay, and also paramecium are there. Okay. And then after we talk about how respiration in animal take place through gills, in which fish. Okay, and then after through air holes like insects and cockroach or grasshoppers, and then after we will discuss about respiration in animals through lungs, in which birds, mammals, reptiles, amphibians. In mammals we will talk about humans, and then after we discuss about respiratory system. Okay, in human, and then after we see the parts of respiratory system, how these parts are involving in the uh, this process of respiration, like nostril, trachea, bronchi and lungs. Okay, perform a different function to obviously produce energy to perform activity. Okay, so this is all for this is done. So I just tell you one thing, that please read two times, write down each and every definition, that whatever the definition given in your book. Okay, and obviously write down the this equation, the breaking down of glucose into carbon dioxide and water and energy. Okay, in next classes you see how this energy are in the form of 38 ATP and 2 ATP. Okay, so this is all about this chapter. Okay, I hope you understand. Okay, so I just tell you one thing, please do exercises and read this chapter, and remember all the notes whatever you write in your copy. Okay, thank you.